Hi everyone, my name is Amber Austin. I'm a first year biochemistry major on the pre-med track from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm also a proud member of the Freddie T. Davie Honors College, and I served as the principal investigator of our group for this research project.
Hello, my name is Halia Morris. I'm a first-year marine and environmental science major from Huntsville, Alabama. I'm also a proud member of the Freddie T. Davie Honors College, and I served as the co-principal investigator for our group's research project.
Hello, my name is Amari Thomas. I'm a first-year biology cell molecular major from Columbia, South Carolina, and I served as the data manager for this research group.
Hi, my name is Grace Regan. I'm a first-year biology pre-med major from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and I served as the library manager for this research project.
So today we're going to be talking about migratory patterns of birds of prey as it relates to the COVID-19 pandemic and the time of the fall season at Hook Mountain State Park in Nyack, New York. Migration is defined as the relocation of a population between breeding grounds and a wintering area, and migration is a phenomenon seen in all major vertebrate groups of the animal kingdom. Organisms migrate because they can benefit in ways like growth, reproduction, and or survival, despite the journey being dangerous and costly in energy. Birds of prey are one of the many groups of animals that migrate, and birds of prey are categorized based on ecological, morphological, and taxonomic criteria. However, the main criteria for a bird of prey is that they hunt live vertebrae. And the people that watch these birds at the sites and hawk watch and then report their findings to websites such as hawkcount.org are part of citizen science. And citizen science is the general public collecting and analyzing data and then reporting it to science areas or scientists where they can then analyze that data further. And citizen science helps the community by allowing the general public to be more educated on the science going on around them. And it also helps scientists because they get to gather more data for more locations. So the COVID-19 pandemic did have an effect on citizen science because people were not allowed to meet as often or meet face to face and gather in large groups. However, citizen science did have an increase in participation in areas outside, like hawk watchers, because people were encouraged to go outside during nature during COVID-19, because if you were 6 feet apart, that was deemed safe. So this study aims to investigate whether the COVID-19 pandemic had an effect on the migratory patterns of birds of prey between the years 2020 and 2021. And we hypothesized that the pandemic would have no impact on the migratory pattern of these birds. We also had a sub-question in which we investigated whether the sister species, the sharp-shinned hawk and the Cooper's hawk, would migrate more towards the beginning or the end of the fall season. And we hypothesized that the sister species would migrate more towards the end of the fall season, right as winter approaches. If you look down further, you can see our study site, Hook Mountain State Park, which is located in Nyack, New York. And Hook Mountain State Park sits on the ridge of Hook Mountain, which is also right above the west bank of the Hudson River. As you can see, the mountain is covered in tall trees for our hawks to perch on, the sharp-shinned hawk and the Cooper's hawk, which is good because this is how they scout their prey. And the site is also abundant in small live vertebrates, which is their primary source of food.
So in learning that the sharp-shinned hawk and the Cooper's hawk were a sister group, as Amber said, we aimed to see if the birds would migrate more toward the beginning or end of the fall season. In order to answer this question, we started first by selecting a site from Hawk Count and obtained data from over a 3-month period, starting at September 19th and ending our collection at November 19th. With the amount of data that we had gathered, we summarized it by using various elements such as statistics and data summation. And when that was done, we analyzed the species abundance and richness for all the birds, and then used Excel to calculate the diversity indices. To finish this project, we made graphs to examine patterns across time and took into account how all the birds migrated to help us answer our class research question, and then only looked at the sharp-shinned hawk and the Cooper's hawk to help us answer our personal research question. As you can see here in figures 2A and 2B, we have a bar chart comparing species abundance and richness for the fall season of both 2020 and 2021, And as it relates to our class research question, we can see that our hypothesis was supported because the birds were not affected by the pandemic and migrated independently due to the consistency in their patterns for both years. However, as the chart relates to our personal research question, we can see that our hypothesis was not supported because they are migrating more in the middle of the fall season rather than in the end like we had originally speculated.
So in figures 1A and 1B, we have our donut figures, and they also represented the species richness and abundance for the birds of prey for the fall of 2020 and 2021 within a 3-month time period. We noticed that the most observant birds of prey for both years were very similar. In September, the broadwing hawk was the most observant, but was seen to be absent for November. For October, the turkey vulture and the sharp-shinned hawk were the most observant. And then November, the turkey vulture and the red-shouldered hawk were the most observant. And then for the fall of 2021, we noticed that the northern ghost hawk and the rough-legged hawk were both absent for this fall. For our results, our graphs allowed us to determine that there was an overall 38% decrease for the abundance for the birds of prey between the fall seasons of 2020 and 2021. We noticed that October had the highest abundance for both years, and with that, the sharp-shinned hawk and the Cooper's hawk were the most observant. And then when it came to the specific months, we noticed that the broadwing hawk was the most observant in September. For October, the sharp-shinned hawk was the most observant, and then the turkey vulture was the most observant in November. And then again, this was true for both 2020 and 2021.
So our hypothesis for our class study was that the COVID-19 pandemic would have no impact on the migratory birds of prey, and this was supported. We observed similar patterns between the 2 years, such as Amari mentioned, the same birds being observed in the same month the most abundantly. So that led us to conclude that the only difference was a decrease in data between 2020 and 2021. Since the pandemic affected humans, the citizen science data collected was affected, but not the bird of prey migration at all. So our sharp-shinned and Cooper's hawks were observed the most during October among the other birds. So our original hypothesis that they would migrate more towards the end of the fall season was not supported. This observation could be due to biotic factors like prey availability or abiotic factors such as weather or resources available. Some limitations of our study could include misidentification, especially between the sharp-shinned hawk and the Cooper's hawk. As Grace and Amber mentioned, they are sister species, so they look very similar. So some misidentification between those two could lead to biased observations, as well as the fact that our study site was open 24 hours. So the citizen science data collected doesn't account for the birds that were not seen. And human data recording error could also be a factor on our part or on hawkcount.org. So we would like to thank the Department of Biological Sciences and Dr. Sean T. Dash for guidance and support as we conducted this study. We would also like to thank hawkcount.org and NSF TIP grant 19111-928 for making this study possible. Thank you so much.